My name is Madeline, and I made this video as a midterm exam review for Professor Seeger's class, CEE 300, Business Ethics for Engineers. I hope it helps.
The first question is, what are the three aspects of the mind? The first aspect of the mind is cognitive, which is shown in orange. This is the part of the mind that holds all of a person's knowledge. It is the voice of reasoning, a person's education, and a person's experience and training. The second aspect of the mind is the affective, shown in dark green. It is a person's emotions, how they feel, their morals, their beliefs, what motivates them, and what they like. And lastly, there's the conative. This is what drives a person. It is their instinct and innate force. A person cannot change their conation, and it cannot be taught, for they are born with it. The next question asks to illustrate an example where the different aspects of the mind could be in conflict. I think the three aspects of the mind contradict each other when users are confronted with drugs or substances that are not good for their bodies. So for instance, smoking. So I've hired two actresses to demonstrate this.
Affective.
The cigarette makes me feel happier.
Cognitive.
I know that the cigarette is bad for my health.
Conative.
What am I going to do? I'm going to smoke it.
The next question is, what are the four Kolbe action modes?
Fact finder. It measures how much someone gathers and shares information. Follow through. It measures how much someone arranges and designs. Quick start. It measures how much someone deals with risk and uncertainty. Implementer. It measures how much someone deals with space and intangibles.
The score I received for each action mode is shown here. I received a 4 in Fact Finder, a 4 in Follow Through, a 6 in Quick Start, and a 6 in Implementer. With a 4 in Fact Finder, I do not need excessive details, I just need the essential facts. And having a 4 in Follow Through indicates that I am not a very organized person. I also do not stick directly to the rules. I detect discrepancies and adjust the procedures as needed. In Quick Start, the slide shows that I have a 6 when really I received an asterisk. This means that I answered questions on the test that contradicted each other, so the test did not know where to place me. Apparently, I'm in a phase of transition. But in reality, I am higher than a 6 in Quick Start. I like to experiment to see what will happen, and I love risky situations. I wait until the last minute most of the time, and I'm very in the now and focus on the present. I despise any type of schedule or routine. And lastly, I received a 6 in Implementer. I work better with hands-on experiences, and I learn better with visuals. I also like to keep things working the way they should. The next question asks for useful techniques that would make constructive criticism more useful. Do not make it personal or biased.
I don't think your paper is very interesting.
I suggest that you stay away from passive verbs.
You should always give a suggestion of what to fix when you point out something wrong. This way, the person being critiqued has some direction.
I think you should change your thesis.
I think if you cited more sources, your paper would be more credible.
Don't be rude. No one wants to be attacked on their work.
Did you even spend any time on this?
I can tell you spent a lot of time on this paper.
Another question asked is, what is the difference between a trade secret and a patent?
I think the main difference between a trade secret and a patent is that a patent is open to the eyes of the public when a trade secret is not. For example, Dr. Pepper, as a beverage, has a patent on it. The patent is open to the public, so they know exactly what they cannot copy. On the other hand, the formula to making Dr. Pepper is the company's trade secret. They keep it a secret within the company so that no one can copy the formula.
What is the difference between nominal, effective, and compound interest? There are two main types of interest, compound and simple. This diagram helps us understand that effective and nominal interests are two different types of compound interests. Unlike simple, compound interest is an interest that also earns interest. As Webster's dictionary puts it, it is an interest paid both on the original amount of money and on the interest it has already earned. Comparing nominal and effective interest is the true rate. The equation shown shows the relationship between the two. Nominal interest is the interest rate for the year, when effective interest rates include the number of compounding periods per year. Typically, the effective interest rate is higher. I chose a simple example to show the difference between the two. An investor invests $2,000 into a bank and is told he will receive 5% interest on an annual basis. His investment is compounded twice a year. So after the first 6 months, he receives 2.5 interest on his investment, and after the second 6 months, he received another 2.5 on his original investment and the interest he earned in the first half of the year. So really, there was a 5.06 interest rate on his investment. This is the effective interest rate. The last question I will cover asks to explain the difference between moral and legal obligations. A legal obligation can result in a civil claim, whereas a moral obligation does not involve the law. It is based off virtue and responsibility. What is an example that shows the difference between the two? So, there's an engineer who was assigned an excavation project near Payson, Arizona. The project was for highway improvement and it needed to know the depth of soil to bedrock. The slope of the excavation site was getting too steep and the excavators still had not reached the bedrock. Large boulders were falling and water was cascading near the workers on site. From a geotechnical standpoint, the site was unsafe. However, the engineer was faced with the problem that his or her company signed a legal contract to determine the depth of the bedrock. The engineer's solution was to call the excavation off. He fulfilled his moral obligation by doing this because he needed to hold paramount the workers' safety. He also fulfilled his legal obligation by telling the company that they need to come back with a drill to determine the bedrock depth.
I hope this video helped you with studying. Good luck!